Episode 6. For hours, Jiro's men battled to retake the Mizumano. The North and their allies had retreated to the outskirts of town. At the suggestion of Lord Tomodachi, the warriors were sent out to key points in the city until the morning. For Chichao suggested the carnival as a resting place due to its tactical advantage. Saku wasn't sure what this meant, but it seemed like a good plan. It was her idea for the willing samurai and the entertainers to patrol the streets until the armies could be repelled. Outside is a strange place of request to sleep, Oni-chan said. Are you sure you don't want a better dwelling? You are the daimyo now. Oni-chan lifted the lantern, with his own face on it, high so Mibu could finish placing her bedroll. The giant had placed them in a tent not far from the stage. He realized Saku was looking at the animal hide of the tent with a look of disgust. It is only for the night, Oni-chan told Saku. Few hours. Did it have to be animal? Saku asked. Oni-chan shrugged. Really? Mibu scoffed. If you wanted, you could order 20 geishas and a persimmon, and you're upset that the tent is normal. We've slept in animal tents before. You didn't care then. They tried to situate themselves in this space as best they could, but the overwhelming feeling of responsibility lingered in Saku's mind. Giving out orders had been more exhausting than summoning lightning, and the looks from Mibu's face while doing it tired her more. Things are different now, Saku said, still looking at the hide disapprovingly. Now that I know this was an animal with a story to tell, I can't look at it the same way anymore. But the tent will do for now. No more skull talk, Mibu said. You will sleep it off. The city might be fooled, but I'm not. And when they realize it, we might be in trouble when the conquerors figure out they're not our conquerors anymore. Saku walked to Mibu and gave Oni-chan a look. He got the idea. We wake early to meet the North at the temple on the edge of the city. Rest well. Oni-chan nodded at Mibu and returned to his dwelling for the evening. The air had warmed once again, and cicadas chirped. Saku looked down, with her fists clinched as Mibu rummaged through her pack for rations. She found onigiri and handed it to Saku, who took a bite as soon as she could. The salty plum and rice was satisfying, after losing so much strength throughout the passing days. Mibu pivoted towards her and bit into her own ration. This is not of craziness, Saku said after taking a bite. This is a gift we have been lied to about all of our lives. What are you suggesting? Mibu said. That we were once a village of, what, tea drinkers, who could really talk to skulls. And what, and the Sao Song took this from us? But let us keep growing the tea for some reason. And no one has bothered to try it until you. Why would any rational nation do this? I know you can be stupid, but I am not stupid. They want to suppress our power, Saku said. Have you ever thought about our schooling growing up? It's like they wanted to confuse us and punish us if we did not listen without resistance, so we would follow their rules without question. They take us away from our parents early on to stomp out the last embers of our past. We are a threat to them, but no more. Hearing that, Mibu laid on her bedroll. Her hands rested behind her head as she looked up. She closed her eyes and sighed deeply. I can't begin to explain how disappointed I am in you. We had a lot of good teachers who worked really hard with us. I never thought you would do this. What you speak is not truth. It is sickness, and it is despicable. Mibu reached under her bedroll and picked up a small rock. She flung it into the night. Why don't you believe me? You've always believed me, Saku said. Mibu rolled to her side. This isn't believable. That is why. We must rest. Listen to... She stopped. She covered her mouth with her hands. Mibu jolted up in panic and looked to her. She stood there, silent for a moment. I can't get mad at you. I want to show you, but I don't want to hurt you. She sat down next to her on the bedroll. Why is your hair standing up like that? Mibu asked. It is because of my powers, she said. Powers? Really, Saku? Thinking you can talk to things is a power. Mibu rolled back over the face of the wall of the tent. Bet you haven't washed it since you set off for the trip, that's why. Saku turned to the bag she had been given with the skull flowers inside. She wanted to look at them, but she did not want to start a fight. Saku, Kamo said, I'm not sure what to do about your friend there, but if you put me somewhere where I can see, I can scream at you until you wake up in the morning. That way we can get up early. Really? Saku whispered. What? Mibu said. Nothing. She took Kamo out of her pocket and placed him so he could see outside. Mibu rolled over to see what Saku was doing. She frowned. Can we put the gross toys away, please? Kamo is my friend, Saku said. I am too tired, Mibu said. Come back to me. The real you, the one who understands the value of hard work and loyalty. If you continue on like this, I won't be helping you. Our village will not either, daimyo or not. Saku said nothing. Now hold my hand, Mibu said. She did. Her eyes did not close for a long while. She wondered to herself how she could prove her truth. But her eyes grew heavy, and soon she drifted into sleep. Wake up! Saku rose at the sound of the screaming skull. A sharp, blistering thud rang out. At first, Saku thought it was the wind, but realized an arrow had struck the tent pole. Its shaft was painted blue. Mibu! Saku shook her friend and looked back out. Mibu sat up. She grabbed the bag and her weapons. I heard commotion in the distance, Kamo said. Mibu grabbed the longbow and searched the area. On the edge of the Mizumono, lights flickered. The sky gently began to light up with a dark blue light. The morning sun would soon make an appearance. They could hear the cries of men and swords clashing. She reached for an arrow. She took a step forward and signaled to Saku to be silent as she choked down on her emotions. She's listening to the screaming, Fujicha said. We must go help them, Saku said, beginning to walk in that direction. If that is of the clans, we cannot fight them by ourselves. Even if you think you have powers, there are too many of them. We need to get out of here. We can't leave Oni-chan, Saku said. There's nothing we can do. Saku ran towards the sound of the clanging. Stop, Mibu cried to her. She did not listen. She hurried towards the Mizumono entrance, holding her katana high. Mibu ran after her with her weapon drawn. Oni-chan and other performers struggled to keep a bamboo gate closed. Others and their families scattered into a chaotic collecting of belongings. Cries rang out from the other side. Saku put the sword back in his sheath and ran to help. Wait, Oni-chan shouted. You need to get out of here. Noriko is going to want you dead. His massive forearms strained against the efforts of the outside invaders. I won't leave you. We aren't finished here. We need you, Saku said, stepping up. Dozens of sharp twangs ripped out from above. Arrows flew over the wall. Saku turned and saw Mibu leap into the field behind her, missing an arrow narrowly. Get out of here, he said. Mibu cried out. We need to tell others before the entire city falls. We can get the word out at the castle, Mibu said, readying her bow, looking at the gate. Saku's eyes drew to where the cracking sound was coming from. With a snap, the gate broke in two. Thank you for your kindness, Saku said. Saku met Mibu and dashed towards the back of the fenced property. A wave of men lunged across what remained of the gate. Entertainers, a yokai and a kappa, or so they claimed to be, fought with crude stage weapons against the northern strongly crafted katanas. Oni-chan dug his heels in but could hold the men back no longer. Dirt sprung up from where he landed. A balding man in a blue kimono with his hair pulled back stood over him. Oni-chan tried to get to his feet, but it was too late. Saku could only watch from afar as the northern samurai jabbed the dagger into him. The two women found themselves running through smoky streets, heading towards the castle. Saku breathed in sharp, through her nose and smelled a bitter and grassy burn. The flowers! Saku shouted to Mibu. She pointed towards the smoke. She quickened her pace towards the skullflower fields. Can you stop running into danger? Mibu passed the stone entrance and joined Saku in the fields, who was cutting every flower she could. Mibu turned towards the castle. There were also flames. Hana, Saku said, also noticing. We can't save everyone, Mibu said. This is our last hope, then. Saku picked a skullflower and put it in her bag. The bag overflowed. We can't, Mibu began to say, but instead she watched as her friend obsessively placed flowers in the mermaid bag. Mibu stood, horrified. The field is on fire, Saku. Yes, she said. Hurry, take all you can. No, Mibu said. Enough of this. No more. You're going to get us hurt. Saku began to stuff flowers in Mibu's pockets. Just believe me. Believe me, Mibu shouted. You are sick. Then be sick with me. Mibu saw smoke quickly rising ahead of them. She took a flower and snapped it at the stem. Then she took another. Now let's go. The smoke followed them until they arrived on the edge of the district. Saku stood on the street, looking back towards the burning fields. Flames roared high. The chatter of panic and chaos echoed throughout the city. Men ran carrying weapons towards the castle. What if these are the only flowers left? Saku thought, slowly realizing. If they are attacking Song, they will send men to Fukui. We need to go find Ayashi and get to our village. They fled the castle at a hurried pace towards the city. They found a royal messenger and sent word to Jiro to hold the city until they returned. They escaped into the forest, heading towards the village. Saku and Mibu crept up to Ayashi's encampment. They had traveled along the river there in hopes that he had returned to it. But instead, a lone man in blue sat on the stump where Saku had once drunk the tea. He drew no sword. He nodded at the women. In motion for them to sit down, they hesitated. The man showed them the palm of both of his hands. I am Lord Noriko. Lord Tomodachi, I am here to talk. Two skull women stood with their arms crossed. Lord Noriko shrugged but did not seem concerned. Where is Ayashi? Saku spoke. Place your weapons on the ground. You have my word you will not be harmed. Saku looked at Mibu. She spoke. You attacked the city after inviting us to a peace treaty. We cannot trust you. I did not attack, Lord Noriko said. Your own forces attacked us, led by Jiro, Ayashi, and Hana. They chose not to console you, but to try to kill us in our sleep. No, Saku said. They wouldn't do that. This isn't the first time the two have done this before, Saku. This is merely the echoes of a deal poorly drafted. I have paid the cost of their mistakes today. I knew you would come here, looking for Ayashi, believing he was helping you. He was helping himself. You lie, Saku said. It might be unwise to lie to one who can summon thunder, Lord Noriko said. I only speak truth. Saku put her weapons down. Mibu did the same, but reluctantly. You were a creation of Ayashi, said Lord Noriko. You were given the tea so you would aid in his cause, so that he would have an unstoppable weapon. You happened along the way, so he chose you. My spies believe this. You have caused many people harm. My only intention is to do what is right, Saku said. I believe you, Lord Noriko said, sitting up. I would have requested to speak to you in person if they had come to surrender as I requested. But now it does not matter. The city of Shang shall soon be mine. Ayashi and Hana shall be dealt with care. I am here to speak to you about your village. Why me? Saku said. I do not recognize Rusu as head of the village, for I did not appoint them. They cannot be trusted, for she was placed by Lord Yataku. That part of the world is gone. You were trying to take what originally was my family's city of Shaoshang, but this you could not have known. I offer you, as daimyo of your village, a proper council with us in the coming months. I shall give the city time to regain its own order. We do not seek control of your people, but we do request that the tea trade is kept open only to us. I will give you my letter to read to your people stating these wishes. He handed Saku a letter, sealed in red wax. That's it? There is one matter you should consider wisely. You, in the village, must destroy all the remaining skull flowers. I shall not take them from you, but you should consider your power and what a people might do with it who have been sickened by lies. You're talking about the crazy tea too? Mibu said. Is this a joke? Is that why you burned the flowers? Saku said. Yes, Lord Noriko said, because I had to. What if there are others out there who get powers from this? Your village is no longer the keepers of the wild they once were. Maybe not all of your village should have that power. You're telling me, Mibu spoke, if we trade with you, you will leave us alone. Yes, he said, if you destroy every last remaining flower, we will happily trade with you. But if you do not, we shall destroy you. We shall give you time to decide. We shall seek you when the time is right. Do I have your understanding and your promise to counsel with me? Yes, Saku said. I shall see both of you again soon enough. At that he stood and bowed. They bowed back. He walked into the forest. Why does he believe you can summon lightning? Mibu said. He's going to learn that's a lie. It's not a lie. But the things he told us just now, those were lies. We have to get back to the village as soon as we can. Our people are in danger.